What's going on, everybody? Today I have some news to share with you all about Odin. This forum post just came out outlining the plans to simultaneously nerf and buff Odin, and give some compensation as well. So we're not going to read through this post word for word. I'll explain what's going on in game here. Odin, he has this cross-fight, pre-fight ability where essentially, the same way you'd put a pre-fight onto a champion from someone like Mr. Fantastic, you assign that to whatever fight you're going up against next, and then whatever champion you enter that fight with next, they will gain any one of these three buffs that you want. And you can give all three of these buffs to a single champion if you want, and that is going to stay the same. You can still select individually or give all three of these buffs to one champion. What you could also do before these changes is you could take the three buffs from this Odin, the three buffs from another Odin, basically however many Odins you could fit onto your team, or even just in your group, because it also works. You can take buffs from your friends, your alliance mates in an alliance war or in an incursion run. You're able to kind of buff up each other's champions that way, and now you're not going to be able to do that. You could still get three buffs from one individual Odin, but you're not going to be able to take the buffs from multiple Odins onto one single champion. And I hate this change. This is the worst change. No, I'm just kidding. The only reason I say that is because to be honest with you guys, I was pushing pretty hard for this change to happen. I really felt like it broke the game, and I was trying to express that, privately to the devs as much as possible. And I just think it'd be funny if they were watching this video and they're like, "You hate the change? What the?" Because to be honest with you guys, for me, it really broke the game, to the point where it would have seriously impacted my desire to keep playing MCOC. That's how big that's how important this change is. I didn't really say hey, if this change doesn't happen, I'm gonna quit, but that's how I was feeling, man. Because let me explain something. Ghost, a champion who I consider to be the strongest champion in the game, she has a synergy, and this is I made the video about it, but I'm going to show it real quick here as well. She has a synergy with Ant-Man, where you gain plus 15% attack for each buff on Ghost. And what you were able to do is, let's say you were in the incursions, you were able to have 4 Odins for each player in there, right? 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, potentially, if you have all of those champions, and just throw all of those buffs onto one champion, onto Ghost. That's 24 buffs. Each one giving plus 15% attack. What you'd be able to do with something like that is just buff up Ghost, and then allow the other player to just go AFK. They don't need to play anymore. You could literally solo your way through the incursions. It would take, 2 rooms. Well, it would take 4 rooms at most to have all of those buffs onto Ghost. And at that point, the other player does not need to play the game at all. The person playing Ghost, they'd be hitting for so much damage, just straight out of the gate. Forget the hacks. You don't even need the hacks anymore. This is far more powerful than any hacks will give you. You can just pick whatever path is easiest for you. You don't have to worry about the degen on the boss because of the synergy with Hood, where you're going to take no damage while phasing. So you can literally just do a medium attack, immediately phase. You don't have to worry about using specials anymore. You don't even need the Wasp synergy in a situation like that. You'd be hitting for, 30, 40, 50,000 damage on a medium attack, however much damage it is. And even in the deepest rooms, going towards zone 20, you would be flying through that content. I honestly believe that if this change did not happen, someone could solo their way through the incursions with a Ghost and get through zone 20 in under 2 hours. Just because you're cutting down time between communicating, you're always taking the easiest paths. And the amount of damage you deal, and you could just heal up at the end of the room every time, because you don't even care about the hacks. You're already doing that much damage. So for me, it just totally broke the game, and I just really didn't want to play a game where something like that could exist. Not to mention, because of content like Act 6 and Act 7, where they limit you to only bringing in 5- and 6-star champions. that means if you want it to be competitive for something like a Legends run, you will now be at a serious disadvantage if you don't have a 6-star version of Odin. Because you're losing out on essentially every single Odin you're able to fit on the team. That's 45% more attack. So unless you got a 0.1% pull out of the Cav crystals, which means you need to get absurdly lucky or just spend boatloads of cash on these crystals, like the competitive aspect, it was totally destroyed. And you know, there's always going to be advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, someone who has like a 6-star Sig 200 Ghost is going to be at an advantage compared to someone with a 5-star. But this just, I mean, it's already taking who I consider, like I said, the strongest champ in the game and just buffing them up even more. It's ridiculous. I would have only used Ghost in the, you know, in like the Cav monthly because she'd be the fastest. To be honest, I probably still will do that because even one Odin, even without being able to stack these things, you're still getting 45% attack onto Ghost. So it's still pretty silly, and I'm still, to be honest, not happy about that, but I'm just happy that the game is not being totally destroyed by the ability to stack these Odin buffs anymore. So yeah, if you want to get mad at somebody for the change, feel free to send the hate my way. I don't even care, dude. I'm just happy that I can continue playing this game and continue enjoying it. As far as the other parts of this change go, well, there's two other things that are important here. One, the compensation. Let's talk about that. So it says here, summoners who purchased any Odin preview bundles or crystals from the Black ISO market will receive the equivalent number of crystals for our next feature champion next month. So you're getting some free crystals as compensation, just in case anyone, you know, picked up the Odin crystals for, you know, specifically for the ability to stack these buffs. Which, by the way, you don't need to stack the buffs for Odin to have a huge impact on things. Individually, his buffs are super strong, and I'm still grinding for Odin, you know, in the arena coming up. Super strong stuff, to be honest. So you're not going to use them absolutely everywhere all the time, but I think I'm going to use mine a lot, and I still wish that I had a 6-star version for the higher powered buffs compared to the 5-star, but maybe in time I'll get that. In any case, so they're, you know, they're giving out that compensation, giving some free crystals to those players. And then the other part here is we are committed to a tuning buff for Odin quicker than we normally have in the past. We understand that this change does affect Odin's performance as a support champion. That was their intent with Odin, is to make him a support champion. And we want to maintain his status as a support champion. We also want to compensate for this change by giving him more power in his base abilities. And this should be completed for our May release. So this is great, man. This is like, you know, I'm sure someone's going to find a way to complain about this still. But as far as I'm concerned, like, this is just so good for the game overall. So you're not going to be able to stack a potentially unlimited amount of buffs onto one champion from Odin. Totally break the game. Awesome. Players who picked up the Odin Cav preview bundles, they're going to get some free crystals. Awesome. And then Odin himself is going to be a stronger champion. Awesome. Like, it's all around. This is the best possible outcome, I think, for this situation. So we don't know exactly what Odin's buff is going to look like. They did mention, just so I don't get anybody's hopes up, they did mention, I'll show it one more time here, that they still want to maintain his status as a support champion. So he's probably not going to be the craziest attacker still, but he will be stronger. So, and to be honest, I wasn't even asking for that. I wasn't even worried about that part. I just really didn't want him to break the game to the point where, you know, Ghost is played that much more, and when she's already that strong. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these changes. And that'll do it for this video. We can talk more about this during the live stream tonight. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.